two different types of people that you have. There is what you call a rich person, which of course I'm not a rich person, but I'm a wealthy person.
You see, this man became Nigeria's first billionaire in 2007 and was reported to have added $9.2 billion to his net worth as of 2013, making him the richest person in Africa and the 30th richest person in the world. And ever since then, he has maintained the title of being Africa's richest person. Even till now, he's still the richest person. Okay, sit back, relax, and let's unveil the real story of this business magnate and mogul whose name is Aliko Mohammed Dangote. Born like me and you and every other single person on earth on the 10th of April 1957 into a Muslim, Hausa and wealthy family. And I know right now you are probably thinking that after all he came from a wealthy family, then definitely his family's wealth must have contributed to him becoming wealthy as well. But this cannot be far from the truth. In fact, he lost his dad at an early age and was orphaned at an early age. He said he didn't inherit any property from his father.
David, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that I did not inherit any money from my father. I built everything from scratch.
His father died at the age of 8, became an orphan at that age, and was left to his grandfather to take care of him. So his grandfather was also a successful business person who was also wealthy, took good care of him, and was able to send him both college education and secondary school education. His great grandfather, the late Al-Hassan Datata, was also a very successful business mogul who was the richest person in West Africa at the time of his death in 1955. His mother, Maria Sanusi Datata, is the daughter of his grandfather Sanusi Datata.
Well, I came from a wealthy family. My grandfather was my great-grandfather from my mother's side was actually very, very wealthy, Al-Hassan Datata. And then his son also Sanusi Datata, whom really raised me up because, I lost my dad at the age of 8.
So through his mom, he is the great-grandson of Al-Hassan Datata. Being left to his grandfather, who was also successful in business, his grandfather was able to afford and send him secondary school education, which he attended at the government college Benin Kuru, Jigawa State. After which he left Nigeria to study a particular course which fueled his entire business career at the University of Al-Azhar, Egypt, Business Studies and Administration. He returned back to Nigeria with a strong and solid knowledge on business and finance. So he decided to implement what he had learned at the university and put it into practice. But he had one challenge: lack of capital. Instead of being defeated, seated at home because he didn't have capital, he approached his uncle to lend him $500,000, which he got successfully.
He gave me a loan of which I was grateful, and I paid back.
But what did he do with this money? He decided to leave his hometown, Kano State, for Lagos State to start his own business.
I came to Lagos in January 1978 that I went and opened my own office.
The famous Dangote Group now started as a small trading firm in 1977 when he used his loan to import commodities like rice from Thailand and sugar from Brazil. He imported them and started selling them at wholesale prices for local merchants who were going to sell it at retail prices. And things were going fine, business was flourishing, and his income and money started skyrocketing. And fortunately and good enough for him, he was able to repay his uncle's loan after 3 months of business. Dangote has gotten himself fully and has gotten himself established. It was now until 1990s when he approached the Central Bank of Nigeria to endorse and approve his transport company to manage their fleet of buses, staffs and commodities, etc., which was approved. So with this, he was able to transport, convey and carry different goods and services from one places to another, expanding his business from one location to the other and making his money and income keep rising and keep rising and keep rising. Right now, I have a question for you. Do you think and believe it's possible for someone to just start a business and just keep succeeding from one success to the other, no failure and challenges along the way? No, definitely not possible. This is just the beginning. Of course, he wasn't the only one into the business of importing commodities like rice, sugar, and other foodstuffs
Just concentrated on food items.
into Nigeria. He had competitors. But what did he do to beat his competitors? How did he gain that advantage over his competitors, of which most of people have said and accused him of using his political power and influence against his competitors? He was accused of using his power to bribe port authorities to halt his rival shipments into the country. He was also accused of mingling and interfering with famous Nigerian politicians like presidents and governors to stop his rival shipment into the country, of which, I don't know, maybe true or not, maybe he did it or not, of which an interview with Al Jazeera said he didn't cheat on anybody or any business to grow his own business.
My question is, your journey to the top in a system that's notoriously corrupt, you must have had to pay some kickbacks and so on.
Let me tell you something. We have actually never ever paid anybody any kickback at all.
Never.
And that never, honestly.
Of course, one thing is sure, Dangote had dealings and interference with Nigerian politicians. But it's not obvious and sure today if he actually used his relationship and friendship with politicians against his competitors to grow his own business. Today, the Dangote Group is the largest business conglomerate in Africa, encompassing different divisions like the Dangote Cement, Dangote Flour, Dangote Sugar, Dangote Salt. Virtually every single edible stuff you can imagine, Dangote has hands and operations in them. It was in July 2012 when Dangote approached the Nigerian Port Authority to lease an abandoned piece of land at the Apapa port, of which he now built his sugar refinery equipment and instruments. And now, currently speaking, the sugar refinery produces anywhere around 80,000 metric tons of sugar annually. He also has dealings in other investments like real estate, banking, oil and gas, textile industries. If you've gotten value from this already, I believe it's high time you subscribe so you don't miss my next valuable content like this one. In February 2022, Dangote announced the completion of his Peugeot assembling facility in Nigeria, DPAN, which is based in Kaduna. And currently speaking, of recent May 2023, he has announced the completion of his oil refinery. It has been endorsed, approved, and commissioned, and is set for operation. So with this gigantic investment all around Africa, why won't he maintain this title with this gigantic investments everywhere? So if you've gotten value from this video, make sure to subscribe, share. If you have anything you want to say, use the comment section. Stay tuned and see you in my next video.